SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Rebel Rags, celebrating 20 years of bringing the best Ole Miss gear to fans everywhere. Visit the store on Jackson Avenue in Oxford or order online at rebelrags.net. That's rebelrags.net. Tell them, Molly.
Rebel Rags. Anything, everything, Ole Miss.
And now, Sports.
Get ready, sports fans. It's time for Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the SuperTalk Mississippi app and on your Amazon Alexa devices. Chasing Foul Balls, your weekly source for all the sports news and interviews important to Southwest Mississippi. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by First Bank. And now, here's your host, Robbie Hamilton.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Chasing Foul Balls right here on SuperTalk 93.5. Glad to have you along with us. This morning, Cornelia Gayden, the newest member of the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame, will join us. Also, we'll have the head coach of the Volley Bears up here at Southwest Community College, Coach Chris Laird, will talk to us about the volleyball program. With me this morning, young gun himself, Mr. Wes Thudry, joining us. How are you, Wes?
Doing good, Robbie. It's always a pleasure to join a professor and an esquire, if you will.
Yes, it's a pair to be with, isn't it? You'll learn a lot this morning. How are you, Neil?
I'm like Manny Pearl. I'm just proud to be here, brother.
No summons today?
After I drop you off.
I figured there was something going on. I just didn't know what. Let's go to work. We got a lot to talk about. First things first, last night over at John Ahern Stadium, Co-Ed defeated Southwest. Final score of that was 38-7. The score obviously a lot worse than the game. It was at one point a 17-7 game. But Co-Ed rallied in the last part of the game to pull away and win at 38-7. So Southwest loses a couple of games. They lost to Gulf Coast 40-23 on a Saturday of last week. What a crowd they had last night, guys. Did one of y'all make it?
I did not.
I did not either, but I kept up with it on Bear TV.
It was a big crowd. It's about the biggest crowd I remember seeing at a Southwest football game, and I've been going to Southwest football several years, but a big crowd over there last night. Also, high school action last night over at Tylertown. Tylertown doubles up Perry Central 40-20. And in the NFL game last night, Seattle on a last-second field goal beat Arizona 23-20. Now, time to go to work. Gave y'all homework this week. Let's see how good a job you do on the homework. They talk about the Mount Rushmore as far as college football here in Mississippi. They gave us the names of Jerry Rice, Brett Favre, Walter Payton, and Archie Manning. Who would you add to that list? But the toughest part, not who would you add, but who would you take off the list to put somebody else on that list?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take that and get in trouble, as my buddy Lonzel Dillon used to say from the get-go.
Go ahead. Jump in here.
Brett Favre, Jerry Rice, and who was the other one?
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. They're all members of the NFL Hall of Fame. And I'm going to get in trouble here, but Archie Manning is a folk hero. It's a Mississippi guy, born and bred out of Drew, Mississippi. But I'm going to have to drop him, and I'm going to include maybe Lance Allworth, NFL Hall of Fame.
From Brookhaven.
Lem Barney, out of Gulfport, NFL Hall of Fame. And don't forget David Deacon Jones, who played at MI and he caused rule changes in the NFL. So I would, any one of those, but sorry I created the controversy.
You know, that's why I let you go first, because I like people to yell at you and not me.
There you go. I can handle it.
What do you say, Wes?
Well, Professor, you're not going to be in trouble alone. We're going to be in trouble together, because I agree with you.
Misery loves company.
Archie Manning, while great, unfortunately for him, he didn't have a whole lot of accomplishments because he spent his entire career running for his life behind that offensive line of the Saints. So I would remove Archie and probably place Eli in that spot with the 2 Super Bowl wins. Other names to consider Probably Patrick Willis in the more modern era. Maybe Chris Jones. He does have 6 All-Pros and 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But I would agree. If one has to come off the list, I would think it would be Archie.
What about Steve McNair? You would have to give him consideration.
I would give him some consideration, but his career was somewhat brief.
Agreed.
Charlie Connolly.
Chunky and Charlie, yeah. I'd give him some consideration, but I've given you my main 3, and I think Deacon Jones, who he's the one that invented the head slap. They had to eliminate that because of him.
Question number 2. All right. Give me a one-word description of the Saints' loss to Seattle.
Ooh, I could.
One word only?
One word description.
I've got so many words, right?
Well, we got a young one here. Remember that. Let's don't go too far with it now.
I'm just going to say ugly as somebody's 3rd grade picture.
That's it right there. That's a few more than one word, but that's about as good a description I can give you.
I'm going to say embarrassing, and that's being kind.
Yeah, that's a good one, Wes.
What about the running back Ahmad Hardy, who's at Missouri right now? How did Hardy get out of Mississippi and Lawrence County to Missouri and not go to any of the state schools?
That's a good question. Here a couple of 3 weeks ago on this program, I mentioned Ahmad Hardy and a great game he had with Missouri and 100 yards, I think, in his first game. I don't know how that happens. How did Walter Payton not go to one of the big schools? Of course, he did pretty well at Jackson State. And he's over there. He's from Columbia. But I can't answer that. I just don't know.
I guess it goes to show, even in today's time with everybody on film and all the combines and everything, you can still have a diamond in the rough slip through. And, he looked like an absolute freak at ULM, and stepping up to the SEC has not slowed him down one bit. He's an impressive young player.
The quarterbacks, there was a poll on the Facebook page this week. It said the best high school quarterback from Mississippi since 2000. You know who turned out number 1 in that list?
Was it Tyler Russell?
No. A lot closer to home.
Jimmy Johns.
Jimmy Johns turned out as the number 1 quarterback, not only in this poll, as the number 1 quarterback in Mississippi since 2000. Played at Brookhaven, won the state championship there for Tucker Peavy.
Became a linebacker, I think, at Alabama for a brief period.
Brief period of time.
Yeah.
Y'all surprised at that being named as the top quarterback?
I don't really know how to answer that. I don't know.
That's unusual.
I mean, Jimmy Johns was a good player. I was a little surprised he came in as number 1. I mean, I would figure, Tyler Russell would have been up there. Maybe a Miles Brennan or. I was surprised they landed on Jimmy Johns for sure.
Officiating. Speaking of ugly as my 3rd grade pitcher, SEC has had some troubles here the last couple of weeks with their officiating. But I assume it really don't just go to the SEC, but that's what we hear the most of. What do you think about SEC officiating, especially in the Oklahoma-Auburn game?
I'm going to defer to Wes on that. I didn't watch that game, and I'm just not familiar with it enough to comment.
Well, officials are human, guys, and they make mistakes. It's just in 2025, it's plastered all over the internet more so than it has been in the past, and that's all I've really got to say. A mistake was made, and I mean it is what it is. We move on.
Yeah. How about I put this? But because of the money now being exchanged, is that the right word, on these football games, Is there more pressure to get these things right than it used to be, whether it was just a win or a loss?
Oh, no doubt about that, Robbie. But what we've heard so many times about officiating is when you first go out there, you're expected to be perfect and improve upon that each game after. And that's basically impossible.
And if you're not perfect, we'll just implement a robotic balls and strikes system, and then you won't have to worry about it
We've
anymore.
been talking about that for 40-something years. We talked about that out at Rotary years ago, and here it comes.
Robots?
Yeah.
We had some robots at Rotary Field.
Yeah. One or two that couldn't move. Yeah.
Let's get some winners here real quick before we get out of this first segment. LSU's at Ole Miss. The Rebels are 2.5-point favorite up at Oxford. Trinidad Chambliss will be the quarterback for the Rebels. Who wins the game?
I don't know.
I didn't ask for that.
Ole Miss was a 1.5-point favorite. I guess that has to do with the home field. All I can figure. I think it's a toss-up. I'll be pulling for Ole Miss because we have someone in here that's not an Ole Miss fan.
But you give me the sign already.
Yeah. Be careful what sign she gives you.
I got sign back so you don't watch it. Tennessee at State.
Oh, Tennessee's got to be the pick and favorite. Kudos to State for getting 4-0, but this is a big test, and I think the safe money's got to be on Tennessee.
Oh, I totally agree with that. And we talked about this a week or two or three ago. If and when State goes 4-0, which they have done, they got to win 2 of their next 8. And I'm not sure where they're going to pick up those 2. But I would love to see a State upset.
Jackson State at Alabama A&M.
Jackson State.
Jacksonville State at Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Golden Eagles.
Southern Miss is a pretty good favorite in that game.
Georgia at Alabama.
Georgia.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess so, Georgia.
And Washington's at Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Go Buckeyes.
I wouldn't say go Buckeyes, but I think they'll win.
We'll come back. We'll get started today. Cornelia Gayden's with us. A special guest. We'll do it right after we take a time out. It's Chasing Foul Balls. It's right here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5. Welcome back, Chasing Foul Balls, 93.5, SuperTalk Pike County. Let's go to work. Cornelia Gayden's joined us. Cornelia, of course, just inducted to the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame down in Baton Rouge. So with her this morning, Beckett Below, the 4th grader out at Park Lane, visiting with us. We're glad to have him here. And, of course, the first thing, Cornelia, how'd you find out that you were going to be inducted into the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame?
Just briefly after they had did the voting and all the administrative work for the nod, the athletic director called me. I was at work, and he said, "Cornelia, this is the athletic director from LSU. How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing great. How you doing?" And he just broke the news to me right then.
How was the event itself?
It was amazing. It was a night that I'll never forget. I was very blessed to have a lot of friends and family and a lot of the kids from a basketball program and my family. And Beckett right here is a part of my family. And he was there and able to witness that night. And the most important thing for me was for the kids to be there to witness such a thing.
How was it going into the Hall of Fame with a McComb alum and with John Brady?
It was great because John Brady and I are really good friends. And
you tell that?
I tell that.
Oh, okay.
He's amazing, and it could not have been orchestrated any better than to go in with a friend.
Beckett, you went to the event. How was the event when Miss Gayden was inducted into the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame?
It was really fun because I had never been to an event like that. And it's just fun knowing that I know a legend.
You know a celebrity? Is she a celebrity?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. She is. How did somebody from Boca Chica end up at LSU, Cornelia?
Well, growing up, of course, close to the border, I was always LSU minded.
Now, how was you LSU minded living in Boca Chica, Mississippi?
Well, it was just something about them Tigers during that time of my life. You know, it was just an impact. But I tell you, after the recruiting circuit and after LSU flying me to Baton Rouge from Brookhaven several times on the weekend.
You flew?
Of course. And so...
Big time recruit there.
Yeah. It was a heavy recruiting process, and to meet Sue Garner, you know, it was an opportunity to play for one of the best human beings in the country. So it ended up being a no-brainer.
Cornelia, congratulations. We're really proud of you, as always. We remember watching you in high school, and when you were playing in high school, there were a ton of great basketball players in this area, ladies.
Yes, sir.
Sue Gunter, you mentioned, Hall of Fame coach. Tell us a little bit about your high school coach, Ronald Gill.
Well, it started with my junior high school coach, which was Mickey Myers.
Oh, okay.
Mickey Myers was a gem to me. He was my bus driver, and he would run his route and come back and shoot basketball with me until the sun goes down. And he spent a lot of time with me building the foundation of who I would later on become and get ready for high school. And then I was handed off to Ronald Dale Gill, which another giant who loved and cared about his players. And the thing about Coach Gill, it didn't matter if I put up 60 points against Brookhaven, 25 rebounds, and 10 assists. He would always say, Cornelia, he called me Niels, you could have done better. So he always held me accountable for being more and being excellent, and I'm forever grateful for a coach that holds and held me accountable like that.
Not too many coaches that coached at Duck Hill and Boca Chica.
Not at all, but he was very good.
Cornelia, talk about the evolution of women's basketball as a whole. What's the biggest change in today's game compared to when you were playing?
Well, of course, the money. I look at some of the players, you know.
You were just too early, wasn't you?
Yeah, I can say a lot of things about a lot of things. That would have been my work after LSU. There would have been no basketball. But it's amazing how it has evolved. And the foundation that we all laid for this to happen for the young women today is nothing short of remarkable. And I think that it's unimaginable to where it has evolved to.
Beckett, you like basketball?
Yes, sir.
You play basketball?
No.
He's going to start, though.
I was fixing, is he fixed to become a reigning three person?
Yes, because we got some private sessions set up for Beckett. You know,
Beckett.
I normally don't do just one-on-one, but I'm going to do it for Beckett.
Felt like you fixed to hit the big time, Beckett.
He is.
What about reigning three? How'd that get started?
Well, when I was at LSU, our sports information director, Michael Bonnet, ran a promotion my senior year and called it, he said, it's raining threes at the PMAC. So he asked the fans to bring umbrellas every night to the games. And so after my stint of playing professional basketball and I knew I was coming back home, I wanted to name it Raining Three. It's Raining Threes, and it just kind of stuck.
How long have you been doing this now?
For 26 years.
Holy cow.
For 26 years.
You've had several move through your program that's now at the edge of really doing some great things, haven't you?
Absolutely. It's been a really great ride. And I tell the kids all the time, if you do the work and if your belief system is right, you can obtain anything you want, especially today. I said, I would shoot 3,000 shots a day, okay? And I'm trying to encourage my kids, if you just do 3,000 shots a day, do you realize how much that will lift you up above the crowd?
It's Raining Threes as much teaching kids about growing up as it is about basketball.
Yes, basketball is the tool, of course, you know, like any sport. And it is to make sure that we teach discipline and structure and organization within the kids that's going to take them for the rest of their lives. And I really thank God for the gift, because it has saved a lot of lives, including my own. And it's given me something with, like I said, with my junior high coach and high school coach. Now I understand that basketball was just a tool to lift me up, to do something different and better with my life.
Becky, what grade you in?
I'm in 4th grade.
Where you go to school?
Park Lane Academy.
Ooh. How'd you get out of school today?
I do not know.
Look, I championed for Becky to come with me today, okay?
You have to talk his daddy in to get him out of school?
I did. I had to talk to his mama into
getting him out. I'm fixing to say what daddy
I had to talk to mama.
Oh.
But I do want to, I'm going to ask Becky a question.
Ask Becky a question.
I want Becky to tell us something that none of us in this room may not even know. Can you give us a fun fact today?
A giant squid's eyeball is as big as a basketball.
Neil, did you know that?
No, but I know I need to know that.
I did not learn that one in my time either.
I was thinking they didn't teach that in science.
At the Harvard of the South, we did not learn that one.
Kennedy Elementary, they didn't go to quite that deep when I was there. That's for sure.
Well, if you hadn't skipped school so much.
Well, I only lived a block away, so what the heck? Pros. How'd you go about getting into the pro, and how many years did you play pro basketball?
Well, after LSU, I was playing on the World University team, and of course, every agent in the country was trying to sign the top players in the country, and I ended up playing in the ABL, WNBA for a short stint. But the most impressive thing that from my life was to live in Athens and play in Athens, Greece, Messina in the southern part of Italy, to live in northern Galilee, to play in Fukuoka, Japan, and Portugal has 9 islands called the Azores. So my life was so blessed by just doing basketball.
How long did you play?
I played for 10 years.
10 years, mostly overseas.
Mostly overseas, yes.
What's Cornelia doing now?
I am the public relations director for the Pike County Sheriff's Office and doing some additional work for the county now that I love.
You love that job?
I love that job.
What you'll do with Becky when we leave here?
I think we may go get a bite to eat before he go back to school.
You'll take me with you?
It's kind of whatever he wants to do.
Can I go? Neil,
he said absolutely not. I'll translate that.
If he said if there's no any food left, I'm not taking you. Let's look at you.
Well, he knows about you and buffets.
That's right. Big ugly fat folks sitting together.
And take a good look at the young man. He's very intellectual.
Very.
You saying I wouldn't fit in? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, no, don't let me hurt your feelings.
You are. You just did.
I'm so sorry.
But you know what? You picked up the intellectual, right?
Oh, yeah.
When he's in the room, I want to talk to Becky.
Yeah. You probably just need to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you give us another fact about something I know that we don't know, Becky, please?
There's a kind of spider that lives underwater because it creates an air bubble whenever it goes to the surface, and it brings it down to like a limb or whatever it finds in the water, and it makes an air bubble.
Yeah, I'm out on that. I don't do spiders.
No.
Or bubbles.
No.
All I can tell you is this piece of paper here, I might as well throw it away. It ain't got nothing like that on it for sure. Cornelia, thanks for stopping by. Becky, thanks for coming in with us this morning. We sure appreciate it. And we got the Volley Bears coach coming up, Chris Laird. We'll talk a little Southwest volleyball as much as we know. Right after this timeout, you're listening to Chasing Foul Balls. It's right here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5.
Sports. And now sports. You're
You're listening to Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming everywhere on the SuperTalk Mississippi app. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by First Bank and brought to you by East Macomb Body Shop and Guy's Pharmacy. Now back to Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5.
Our thanks to Cornelia Gayden, the newest member of the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame, for stopping by and visiting with us this morning. Thanks to Beckett Belote for being here. Guys, when he was asking the question, I was trying to find me a place to hide.
Well, you could if you'd had your iPads, you might could have answered.
I could have come close. I'm going to get even, though. Y'all ready?
Oh, Lord, here we go.
The word buttload is a true measurement.
I saw this. I know where you're going with this.
I couldn't ask you when he was here, so I didn't want to quite go there. But buttload is a real unit of measurements. Do you know, Neil, what a buttload is?
Yeah, I do.
No, do you know what unit of measurement a buttload is?
That means hurry.
Randy, we might have to censor Neil over there. I don't know where he's going with this.
He got that cackling going on. I know where it's going. A buttload is 126 gallons.
Ooh.
That's a lot. And it was used to measure wine, if I believe correctly.
So, Beckett, if you want to ask your daddy that question, just tell him I told you and I nobody else. We'll be all right. Let's go to phone. The head coach of the Southwest Volley Bears program, Coach Chris Laird, joins us. How are you, Coach?
I'm fine. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's Friday.
Oh, yeah. How in the world did you get started in volleyball?
I'll give you the short version. Growing up in high school, a friend of mine invited some classmates out to play volleyball at night on a tennis court because it had lines down and had lights at night. And we picked it up and played in the backyard like everybody does. And then I went to Southern Miss and had a men's club team over there, learned how to play properly, if you will. And going through that, a friend of mine suggested I go out and be a volunteer coach or a manager with the women's team at Southern Miss. And that's what I did, and here we are.
What do you look for when you out recruiting a volleyball player to be a community college volleyball player? What's the skills that you're looking for?
The skills we're looking for, the things we can't teach. You know, we can teach skill as far as how to pass, how to set, how to hit, but we can't teach height, can't teach athleticism. You can't teach heart, you know, where the kid just dives for the ball, she's running through the chairs, running over parents. The things that we look for off of the court, though, is how the parents and her child, if you will, interact. You know, does she call her mom, dad, or is it Bill and Susan? So we try to find kids that we want to be around. We try to find kids that we feel are good teammates, that want to learn and are respectable. And then you try to, if you get lucky, you have all that in one player.
Coach, this is Neil Randall. Congratulations on getting the Bears off to such a good start, and I understand you're even drawing a pretty good crowd to the games. I've got some friends who don't miss. Tell us a little bit about recruiting and how you go about recruiting, and how far do you go with your recruiting?
Well, we have kids from Slidell, from Lewisburg High School, which is up north of the state. We have a couple from West Jones, a couple from Purvis High School. So, you know, we're limited by the number of players we can get out of state. So that obviously, you know, we want to recruit locally first. The skill level and experience of our players at a local level just hasn't caught up to the rest of the state or rest of the region. So that kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of go out and expand. So recruiting, you call your coaches, your high school coaching friends, your travel volleyball friends, and say, hey, I'm looking for this position. Do you know anybody that might fit this description? And hopefully a lot of times it's a word of mouth and it's a good recommendation. And then from there you get online and you look at a lot of film. You watch all these recruiting videos that are sent to you. And if you're lucky enough, you get a chance to go to some club volleyball tournaments that happen in the spring, and that's where those players are there for volleyball. They're not there because my friend plays or I just need another patch on the Letterman's jacket. They're there for the right reasons, if you will.
Coach Laird, this is Neil again. I looked at your roster the other day and got some impressive young ladies on there. But explain to me, I guess my partners here understand, but the positions, I was unaware of the positions.
Okay. So if you see OH, that's for outside hitter. And your outside hitter is kind of your go-to hitter, so that if you're in trouble, you set her the ball. She's going to be the person that normally hits on the left side of the court. If you're standing on the end line looking at the net, she's on the left side. And then if you look at the roster and you see MH, that's middle hitter. Sometimes you'll see middle blocker. And that player will stay in the middle of the court, and she'll, on the net, of course, and she'll go side to side to help block the ball. Sometimes you'll see an OPP or an RS, and that's going to be my right side player, and she plays on the right side. Now, the one that gives people the most trouble or has the most questions is the libero. Yeah. She is the person that is kind of your all-time defensive player. When she goes onto the court, it doesn't necessarily cost you a substitution. And she can't play in the front row. She can't hit the ball above the height of the net. And she can't handset the ball in the attack zone. So if you remember the old days of being in the backyard with the all-time quarterback, that's essentially her. She's the all-time passer and defender. And then finally you have the center, who in my opinion is the most important person on the court because she's the one that directs the ball. She runs the offense. She would be our quarterback. So we have to have the outside hitters to pass her the ball so she can set the ball to the hitters that are hot.
Coach,
does that help at all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Complicated.
Coach,
yeah.
This is Wes Nunnery here. To kind of follow up on the question of recruiting, talk about recruiting as a young grassroots program like Southwest. Is it a little easier to recruit when a program has a clean slate, such as a startup program, or is it a little more difficult?
Well, let me just say I've never been told no so much in my life. Because, a lot of the coaches here don't know me. My background is from South Alabama and the Panhandle of Florida. And that's where a lot of coaches know me, so they know when they send their players, they know the players are going to get better and going to have an opportunity to go on to the next level. So here, you're recruiting with, hey, it's a great environment. We have a great campus. We have great people that are on campus that are going to look out for you. And why not come be a part of history? So you try to get that going and say, hey, we're not too far from home. And then for the players that are farther away, you try to say, hey, where's your sense of adventure? Why not come to Southwest Mississippi and see how you can help us?
When you started thinking about this job as being the head coach at Southwest, how was it starting the program from scratch as they talked about? What did you have to do, or what was the most surprising thing that you had to do to get a program started from scratch?
Convince players to come. The easy part is to order the equipment, set the schedule, figure out where they're going to be in the dorms, do the scholarships. But the hardest is actually convincing people to come to campus because basically the skill level in Mississippi is kind of far behind when you regards to Louisiana, Tennessee, and Alabama. All the other 8 junior colleges are recruiting the same players. So if I say, hey, Neil, I want you to come check us out, Neil go, oh, yeah, sounds good. I'll be there in 3 weeks. And then Neil gets an offer from another community college, and he accepts it. So without even seeing our campus. So it's been tough to, battle those teams that have been playing before, or they're in an area where kids want to live. They don't necessarily want to live in Perkinston, but they like living near the beach, if that makes sense.
Coach Laird, this is Neil again. How important is height in the game of volleyball today, and ladies volleyball?
On the front row, position of height is a big deal. Now, if you're a high flyer, you can get away with being 5'7", 5'8". But once you're playing all the other kids that are 6 feet tall and can jump as high as you, height is a really big deal. For the back row, we like the fact that our liberos can be a little shorter because they're closer to the ground. And when you're playing defense, you want to be close to the ground. You want to have more time to read it. But on the flip side of that is if you're 5'10" and you have a reach of a 6'2" person, you cover a lot of ground. So it really comes down to what position do we need them in. But it's usually a pretty big deal. But I've seen a lot of shorter jumpers at the elite levels be successful.
What different skill set is it for playing volleyball and playing basketball for a girl, a woman?
It's pretty similar. Like when you're setting the ball, that's kind of like a two-hand chest pass. You do have to have a pretty good idea of spatial awareness, meaning how far are you away from the goal when you're shooting. A lot of the movements are the same, whereas you may shuffle step to the side or cross over, and then you have to sprint to get to the ball. But after that, that's pretty much it. A lot of successful players are also softball players because when you're passing the ball, you're in a similar position to fielding the ball. Also, throwing the ball is just like serving the ball and hitting the ball. So we like to have some well-rounded athletes.
To say the least, I'm a volleyball novice. I've been out to see about 3 or 4 of y'all's games. A couple of questions I got. First of all, the coach cannot talk to the officials? Is that how that works?
Correct. So you're not, excuse me, the head coach is not supposed to yell across the court to the R1, who is the referee that's standing up in the stand. I can ask the R2, who's near the score table, how many timeouts I have, how many subs I have left, what was the call, can I get a clarification, who's my next server, stuff like that. But mostly we have to run our communication through the captain to the up rep.
Why do you change positions on the floor as far as the benches and all? What is that all about?
Could you clarify?
Between games, some games, the whole team changes the bench area you're in when you go to the other side.
I guess that's because same as basketball. They shoot at their home and shoot at their guest. Sometimes when we play in the gym, you'll have the lights will come through the gym, and that affects how the setter sees the ball. So I guess it's an opportunity to make it even. In high school, I don't think they switch anymore. And in travel volleyball, they don't switch anymore. So just college has gone back to switching.
What about subs? How many are you allowed? How does that work?
So we're allowed 15 subs. And if you start on the court, that start as a starting position. I can go in for you, and you can come back in for me, but you can't come back in for any other position, and I can't go in for any other position. However, as long as you haven't been on the court, we can have up to 5, 6, 7 players go into the same position, but they have to stay in that position.
When's your next game, Coach?
We go to Jones on Monday, play at 6 o'clock, and then we host Mississippi Gulf Coast next Wednesday at 6.
Wednesday at 6 is your next home match. Well, hope folks.
Wednesday at 6, yes, sir.
One final question that I had written, just to get to it. You had the 1973 team, which was the last team at Southwest before volleyball got started back. How was that, having that team at one of your games?
Magical. I mean, it really was a great time. We had all of the players there, and they were still pretty spry. I think we gave them a good show. They were very receptive. They had real appreciative about how we treated them, and we'd love to have them back at every match. They were a lot of fun, and we're thankful to have that opportunity.
It was a great group, and I like see the crowd seemed to enjoy having them back on campus.
Yeah, we've had really good crowds, and it's always good when you can have your fellow college athletes on campus. I know we've had some people, excuse me, from the community that have been out and have enjoyed it, and they're learning, and it's a great environment. You're inside. You have a pretty good idea of how long you're going to be there. There's no rain on you. You know, the temperature is usually pretty much the same, and it's exciting. So we hope everybody comes out and kind of gets a little feel for it and comes back.
Well, the one thing I did learn the first time I went to the match was the fifth set is only 15 points instead of 25. What is that?
So, and if you notice that we switched sides halfway through that last set. So I guess they decided if you can't get it done in 4, we're going to give you a shorter time because we don't want to be here all night.
Makes sense.
That's the best I can come up with.
I got real comfortable that fifth set there. I was all comfortable watching it. It got to be 13-12, and all of a sudden I said, well, I still got a little bit of time here. And then 2 points later, everybody got up and started leaving. I had to help somebody explain to me what was going on. Lord, I got to learn this game. The head coach of the Volley Bears, Coach Chris Laird, we appreciate you joining us this morning, and good luck with the Southwest Lady Bears.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Hope to see you guys next Wednesday at 6.
Thank you, sir. We'll be there.
Thanks.
We'll come back. Big Daddy's next. We'll see what he's got to talk about right here on Chasing Foul Balls. Well, welcome back. Chasing Foul Balls here on 93.5 SuperTalk Pike County. Guys, a big honor. Connor Griffin was named the Minor League Baseball Player of the Year. Listen to these numbers. 333 average, 21 home runs, 94 RBIs, and 65 stolen bases for a minor league year. He sounds like he is about ready to make the jump.
It sounds like he may be at Pittsburgh very soon.
He's a very talented youngster. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
And he's, what, 19?
Yeah, something
very
like
young, yes.
Chelsea with Paul Skeen, speaking of Pittsburgh, 1.97 ERA for the year. And still only won, 8 or 9 games because Pittsburgh didn't score many runs.
Yeah, that's kind of a Bob Gibson ERA.
Big Daddy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Robbie. How about y'all?
I'm all right. You got everything cranked up and ready to go to the Harvard of the South?
Yeah, we're not going to make the big move this weekend. All of our tailgaters are tied up a little bit, so we're just going to ride over Saturday and watch the game, but we'll be there.
What's your feeling to the fact that Mike Gundy, the head coach of Oklahoma State, was let go so early in the season?
I don't know the backstory on all that. Obviously, there's something else, I believe, that would cause that to happen in the second, third ball game. Mike's obviously a long career, and I'm sure he still kind of hangs on to the what they call the older ways of doing things and offensive, and the offense that you run. And that probably started to get him in trouble, but you'd think it'd have to be something major to chop him off right in the middle of the season.
Reese, this is Neil. Great to hear your voice, my friend.
Thank you.
Robbie asks a lot of difficult questions here, as you know. You know, he prides himself.
Stays up late getting them.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your take on the Rebels and the Tigers this Saturday? How do you think that comes out?
Well, obviously, Ole Miss and LSU both have great teams. LSU's defense is really, really good. You have to be concerned maybe a little bit for Ole Miss on their quarterback situation. Having to start the backup, you would think would be detrimental to the Rebels, but he's played pretty well. So, and the Rebels are playing at home. I think that's where your difference in the betting line comes, being that they're the home team. But I wouldn't be surprised if either team won that one in a tie.
Big Daddy, we've talked a little off air up here about it. We hadn't really got on it on air too much, and we haven't talked about it either. But what's your thoughts about the new ball strike automated system that's coming out in the MLB. Do you like it? Do you think it's unnecessary? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I can't figure out how you can argue and throw dirt on the robot, but I'm old, obviously a very old schooler, a dinosaur, but I liked it back in the days when you have a little run-in with the umpire, and everybody had a different opinion about what was going to happen, and Bill Denson would throw all the baseballs out on the field and all that kind of stuff. And taking all that out of the game, and I don't know when a robot, it kind of just becomes very vanilla, I think.
You know what scares me there, Big Daddy, is the fact that they may have a Robo-Neil out there on the field. That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it?
That'd be a start for a horror movie there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bruce Pearl resides at Auburn. You got some big Auburn buddies of yours. Son Steven moves in as the head coach. What about that?
Well, I was a very curious move also, I thought, this close to the start of basketball. I mean, my guys there in the fall training, what I read, some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. And some talk about he wanted to run for Tommy Tuberville's Senate seat, and then some just say he's going to retire, and I guess give his son an opportunity. A little bit curious as to exactly how he came down, but Bruce did a great job at Auburn. He took an Auburn basketball team that was very and Charles Barkley was hardly known, and made it into a contender.
Reese, talking about baseball, I heard this morning, and I know you're way ahead of me as always, but that colleges are getting ready to possibly approve advertising on the backs of college players' jerseys. Don't you think that's getting a little too close to the old slow pitch softball?
Worse than that, Neil. We played softball for many years, and our sponsor name on the front, it was nothing else. But who knows? Look at golf now. Every player's got 3 or 4 different advertisements on them. I guess it's where the money is where it's coming. But I'm old dinosaur. I don't approve of that.
Reese, have you seen the 30 for 30 on ESPN, the many lives of Lane Kiffin?
No, I hadn't. I look forward to seeing it.
You need to watch it. It's interesting to see the progression of Lane Kiffin as from the days of being fired on the tarmac in Los Angeles to being the head coach at Ole Miss. When I watched it, I didn't know what I was getting into as far as that. I just saw the name of it. But it was really interesting to watch the growth and the way that Lane Kiffin has become.
Well, one thing you know about Lane Kiffin is he's matured a lot. He was, I guess you could just go ahead and say he was kind of a hothead early on, and but he's really settled down and matured a lot at Ole Miss.
Well, who you got in Alabama and Georgia tomorrow?
Well, I don't think this is your granddaddy's Alabama team this year. I think Georgia's going to be a little bit better than Alabama. I don't know how what the situation is with Alabama football, but it's not dominant as it once was, and so I'd have to go with Georgia.
Tennessee and Mississippi State.
Well, State's off to a good start, but Tennessee, I think, is a real powerhouse, and they'll be playing Rocky Top, I think, a lot in Starkville.
Well, what about Jacksonville State USF? See USF a favorite.
Well, I guess the biggest thing with us is what team shows up. If the team shows up to play at App State, we'll be in good shape. If the team showed up or they didn't show up at Louisiana Tech, we'll be in trouble. But I got to hope my Coach Huff has got their attention and got them back on schedule. Maybe we can win this weekend and move forward.
Well, good luck to the Golden Eagles, Big Daddy. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thanks to Cornelia Gayden the newest member of the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame, and Chris Laird, the head Volley Bears coach out at Southwest Community College, for joining us today. Thanks, Wes, for sitting in with us. Mr. Randall, you got to make a trip?
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure to be with such fine young people as you and Wesley.
It gets deeper every week, don't it, Wes?
Every week.
We'll be back next Friday morning right here at 9:06 on SuperTalk Pike County.
Everybody's looking for romance. I just want a little time to dance. And tomorrow we can sleep all day. Before tonight we'll let the music play. You remember how it used to be. I love the way that you would dance with me. Rocking and rolling till the clock unwinds. And then we'd holler out one more time. Don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over. Well, the band just started to play my favorite song. I just found my baby and I wanna get a chance to hold her. So don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over. I said don't turn out the lights, don't turn out those lights, don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.